All right, I think we are good to go. All right, so welcome everyone to the December webinar Wednesday. Tonight we have Miss Crystal Davis, and she is on the phone with us. Um, Miss Davis, she's a graduate of Clayton State University, and currently she's employed with the Department of Labor for the state of Georgia. She's a business services recruiter, and she connects businesses with qualified candidates for viable openings. And Miss Davis also facilitates workshops on various topics related to resume writing, interviewing skills, internships, and other topics, just to name a few. She really enjoys giving these types of presentations, and from what I understand, she is very, very good at this. So you guys might want to take really good notes tonight about how to get an internship because I'm sure she has lots of insight about it. So I'll let her go ahead and get started. Crystal, so you just can let me know when you want me to go ahead and go to the next slide. So I'll let you take it away.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tillman. Good evening, everyone. As she stated, I am Crystal Davis. What we're going to talk about is basically how to get your foot in the door. Even as high school students, you can start now and work your way into the doors of viable opportunities with employment agencies and things of that nature before you get to college. Most people really believe internships are for college, but you can really begin your search and getting your foot in the door networking before college. You can start in high school, as a matter of fact. So what I want to do is give you some key pointers on things that you can do to land those opportunities so that you are marketable when you graduate high school and you can gain those valuable skills so that once you attend college and finish or during your time in college, you can land some good positive jobs and do the things that you really desire to do. So my goal tonight is to give you some information. Hopefully you'll take great notes, as Ms. Tillman said, and you'll be able to relate and apply the things that I tell you tonight to your everyday walk. During the holiday season, you can start during the summer or before you go off to college. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So many of you are asking why intern at all. The things that internships offer is that they offer hands-on experience. Many of you in high school may hold down a little part-time position here or there, or you may babysit and things of that nature. But internships offer you hands-on experience that you can add to your resume. And throughout your high school tenure and before entering college and even during college, you're going to hear a lot of your teachers speaking about resumes. And so this is opportunities and experience that you can add to your resume to market yourself even more, and it's so that you can market yourself even more. Another thing that being an intern does, it can jumpstart your career opportunities. Many of you know what you want to do when you graduate high school, when you go to college. Many of you know what degrees you want to attain in college. And so doing internships in those fields will give you experience so that when you graduate with that degree, you will be a more viable candidate and you will have a leg up on the competition, which is always a great thing. It also offers opportunity for you to network. So doing your internship, say that you're doing a receptionist at the Georgia Aquarium. You get to meet the people that come in. You get to meet different staff members. And the thing about networking is as you meet people, they get to see your work ethics. Are you at work on time? Do you come prepared? Do you look professional? Or did you iron your clothes last night? Or those type of things. And people are watching. And so these will be the people that will give your recommendations for college, possibly, or give your recommendations for a job, or even possibly ask you to come on board and instead of being an intern, which is sometimes unpaid, they'll bring you on that into a paid position. So networking while you're on these jobs or in these internships is very meaningful, and you should always take advantage of those. And again, as I stated before, networking, it showcases your skills as the student or the intern. And, and so you get to show people what you can do. A lot of times we have skills and abilities that people don't know that we have. And if you're doing an internship, when you're there, while you're learning, you can also show the things that you already know, and then you'll pique that person's interest and say, hey, I might want to bring him or her on because they already possess enough skills, and if we train them a little bit more, they would be perfect for the positions that we have available. So it's always an opportunity for you to network and showcase the skills and your knowledge and things that you have. Even in high school, the skills that you've learned in your sports, whether it be team building, how to organize a group, if you're in student government and those type things, all of those skills that you've learned as a student you can use in your internship, and they are always positive. Another thing is about interning is it enables students and job seekers to make an informed decision, because sometimes about your degree or the field of study. And I said that because most of us, when we were in freshman year of high school, we wanted to do one thing. When we were in elementary school, we wanted to do something else. Internships allows you to say, I want to be an FBI agent. The FBI always has opportunities during the summertime for high school students and college students to come aboard and learn their techniques and go through a little rigorous course that they have set aside and that they prepare for high school and college students. Well, you may want to be an FBI agent now, but once you take that course or go into that internship with them, you may decide afterwards, well, no, that's not what I want to do, so then I'll eliminate criminal justice from my degree or my repertoire altogether. All I want to do now is I maybe want to go be a teacher. It can change your outlook. So that hands-on experience will give you the opportunity to say as a high school student, what do I really want to do when I graduate and go to college? I don't want to go to college and waste 4 years getting a degree in something that when I graduate I don't want to do. So the internships early on, such as in high school, is a great opportunity for you to make wise decisions about what you want to do with your 4-year, 2-year, or technical college career. And then it allows you to learn about what the working world is like and the expectations, because as high school students, a lot of my employers that I deal with on a regular basis, such as the Coca-Colas and the Pepsis and the Iron Mountains and different things like that, a lot of them are saying the high school students don't come with a lot of soft skills. So you're saying, Miss Davis, what are soft skills? Soft skills are being punctual, being respectful, being professionally dressed, carrying yourself in a professional manner, and those etiquettes and things I'm quite sure that you guys have learned during the course of the year with Century 21st leaders, because they're grooming you guys to be leaders. So I'm quite sure they've touched base on a lot of those characteristics that the employers are looking for. So this will give you the, not a bird's eye view, but a hands-on experience to let you know that this is what they are expecting. This is what I need to do. When you're not on time, they'll reprimand you. They do write you up. Sometimes they even release people from internships because you're not showing those good work ethics. You don't know how to speak to your internal customers, which will be your coworkers and things like that. So all of those skills you can learn via an internship. I know that Ms. Tillman, and forgive me, I'm going backwards, but Ms. Tillman said that we'll answer all questions at the end, but I do want you guys to take a moment and write down any questions. Maybe I said some things and you want me to elaborate in the end. We'll have about 10 or 15 minutes during the end of the session for you to ask any questions that you would like. And if I don't know the answer, I will give out my information at the end, and you feel free to email me, and I'll answer your questions accordingly. But I would definitely like for you guys to take some notes, because what I'm giving will be very instrumental in helping you solidify those good opportunities and make a difference in whatever your degree or field of study will be after high school or during the summer months. Next slide, please, Ms. Tillman. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how you can analyze your options or how you can decipher or brainstorm which options are best for you. I'm going to tell you some pointers on assembling documents that you'll need in order to apply for internships, because internships are like applying for jobs. It's not just I want to do this internship. I go over there and like the summer jobs that you get through the PIC program or the workforce development program is more intense and more detailed. It's more or less like applying for college. And then we're going to talk about how attending workshops and networking events and what the benefits are of doing those things, how to ask questions to find out more in-depth information about the field or the study that you want to go in, or the internship, and decide whether or not it's the right fit for you, and then how to apply to open positions. And so we'll go through each one of these 5 bullet points, and at the end, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Next slide, Ms. Tillman. So analyzing your option, what does that mean? It means finding what works best for you. Like I stated before, many times we say, oh, I want to be a nurse when I graduate high school, but I'm squeamish, I don't like blood. So then you may go to a hospital and work as a volunteer or an intern there, paid or unpaid, and then you'll find out, well, this is not really what I want to do. So this is what I mean by analyzing your options. Questions to ask yourself while you're brainstorming. What fields of interest are of interest to you? Forgive me. So, again, you making that sheet, you take out that long legal pad, and you write down things that interest you. What I would say here is make sure it's something that you're passionate about. Again, you don't want to go to school for 4 years, graduate, and have a degree and don't work in that field, and you owe $80,000 in student loans. Try to go to school, get that internship, and go to school and do things that you're passionate about and that you know it won't be a job, but it's something that you'll give 110%. Write down, when you're writing down what fields you want to go into or what internships you may want to try to apply for, write down what you want from that internship. When I go there, what do I want to learn in the end? I mean, you may say, well, I know a lot about computers, but I want to go to this internship and they have web designers. So what, in the end, when you leave that program, because most of them are about 4 to 8 weeks for high school students, in the end, what do you want to have learned? What knowledge would you like to have gained? When you gain that knowledge, what will you do with that knowledge moving forward? What kind of company interests you? You know, if you want to be a web designer, do you want to go work for Microsoft? Do you want to go work for Google? If you want to be in logistics and distribution, would you rather work for Coca-Cola? Would you rather work for UPS? Would you rather work for FedEx or Pepsi? And so you have to weigh all the pros and cons. And the internet is a great place to find information about each company. You can find out about their turnover rates and different things like that. And all of these things you want to take into consideration when you're deciding which company has an internship. You also want to know what company you're interested in working in, because they all open their availabilities for internships at various times throughout the year. Although the internship may be in the summertime, you may have to apply by March, which is spring. So you want to make sure that you know what companies you want to go for, so you'll know when to look out on their website to see when those opportunities become available. That way you'll know what you need, what documentations you need, how many recommendations you will need, and what is the deadline for getting all of those in. Then that way you can make your calendars and make sure that you check and double check and balance everything. Make sure you do it in a timely manner, because, again, as I stated, they're trying to make sure that you are going to be professional and adult-like. Although you're in high school, they want to know that you accept responsibility and you hold yourself accountable. So they want to make sure that you're going to get all the documents in on time and not come with excuses at the deadline asking for an extension because you didn't get everything in, or miss out on a great opportunity simply because you just took your time about doing the application and getting it in a timely manner. What are your academic and career goals? In high school now, many of you are taking courses, AP courses and things that cater to what you desire to be when you graduate from high school and when you graduate college. So know what those goals are. Only you know what they are. Talk to your guidance counselor about those goals that you have and ask them to research some internships that may benefit you during the summer months or even during school. Some companies have things during the school year where you can work in the evening times, or if you're a senior, some of you guys get out at 10 or 11 o'clock and you can work midday and get that valuable experience. And again, maybe 2 to 4 hours a day, or maybe 20 hours a week, and try to get that experience, but know what your academic and career goals are. And that will mean that you'll have to maintain certain grades and GPAs, because a lot of these companies have a GPA for you to become a part of the internship program. And if I have not said before, let me make sure to say that in this internship, when you're trying to get these internships, it's like applying for a job. So you are going against other candidates. So you want to make sure that everything that you're offering is the best of the best, your GPA, your grades, your recommendations from your teachers, and be mindful that a lot of these internships do call back to your guidance counselor and ask for behavior information and things like that before they make a decision on what students they will accept. And so if you do your best now when you apply for those internships, when you have that 3.8 or that 3.9 or 4.0 or even that 3.5 GPA, you set yourself a little higher than that person that is just basically going through high school, just basically getting by and has that 2.7 or even a 3.0 GPA. So make sure that you know what your goals are, you know what interests you, what you're passionate about, and know what you want to gain from it. And then at least have one or two companies that you are looking forward to working with. Maybe somebody in your family works for them and you want to go work for them. And so just know those basic things. Next slide, Ms. Tillman, please. I'm not sure about how many of you have a resume. What I look for when I'm marketing people such as yourselves to companies, like right now I'm working with Mercedes-Benz, and so they were looking for those wow resumes. And so that is the ones that I was just speaking of prior to this slide about the things that make you stand out, make you extraordinary, not just ordinary, but extraordinary, a cut above the rest. And if you don't know how to make a resume or you have not already created yourself a resume, there are various resources within the community, the Department of Labor, I'm quite sure 21st Century Leaders, I'm quite sure they help you guys with resumes in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Again, your high school guidance counselors, and when you get to college, your advisors and the career centers there will assist you with resumes. But make sure it's showcase your skills and abilities. That's what the resume does, and makes you competitive. So you want to get that thing, that extra edge, that extra skill. And right now, to be honest, for internships and looking for jobs, it's basically one and the same. The edge you will have is if you can speak a different language. If you can speak English and Spanish, you can bilingual English and French, English and some type of Chinese, Japanese or something. Those are great skills to add to a resume. So while you're in school, be looking towards those things. Try to pay attention in those foreign language classes so that you can be a more viable candidate and be a cut above, as I stated before. Create a cover letter. And forgive me for the typo there, but a cover letter is a customized one-page introduction of yourself and introduction of your resume. It is not a resume. It's just a little brief synopsis telling the person about you, how you found out about the position, the internship, and what in that, what is it that they put out? The ad, the advertisement that said that they had this internship position available, they tell you what they're looking for in that ad. And so in your cover letter, you're going to add those small little keywords, like in multitask, detail-oriented, and all of those things, and let them know where you read about or found out about their opportunity. I'm replying to your position as posted on your website, and you can put the job number and the requisition number, and then just give a brief synopsis about yourself and the things that you think that make you stand out above the next person, and then tell them that your resume is attached. And that's all the cover letter really does. Prepare a list of references. Because you're in high school, a lot of your references, and they need to be more professional than personal, but you can have your pastor or your rabbi or whomever, a deacon at your church or someone. If you volunteer at an organization, you can ask them for a recommendation letter. Again, your pastor, your rabbi, whomever. But these need to be professional. And because you're in high school, most of that will end up being a teacher or your football coach or cheerleading coach or gymnastics coach. But they more likely will be your teacher or your guidance counselor. So you want to make sure that your relationship with them is very, very good, especially if you're looking at internships with Fortune 500 companies such as the ones I named before, like Coca-Cola, the FBI, and places like that, which have very good opportunities. Even the governor's office have good internship opportunities during the spring and summer months. So if those are the type of aspirations you have to go to these big companies and work for them or learn about them, then you would definitely want to make sure that you have a good rapport with your guidance counselors and all of your teachers, so that when these companies reach back out to them, they will say good things about you versus that was a behavior problem for me, or not very focused and things of that nature, because you have not had a lot of work experience, many of you, your school will be your point of reference for employers or businesses that have the openings for internships. So be very mindful of that. Or you can ask Miss Tillman and all of those that are there at 21st Century. I'm quite sure they'll give letters of recommendation as well for those of you that meet the standards in which they set forth and adhere to the motto that they have. Research organizations with internships. And at the end of this presentation, I have a few websites. And I'm quite sure Ms. Tillman will send them later on if you don't have a chance to write them all down. But I did get a few organizations that I know always have internship opportunities, but they have deadlines, again, that all the applications and everything must be that they must be submitted. So everything has a deadline. So if you don't understand anything else I say, pay attention to deadlines. And make sure that you adhere to the deadlines and that you get everything in place before the time expires. It says assembly your documents, get organized, and plan. And so that's what we're going to go to next. And the documents I was speaking about are your resume, your letter, cover letter, and your references. But make sure that you organize everything. Set aside a folder for internships. Set aside a folder for each company and what you've submitted, and make a list of what I need to submit and cross out and check off and do those things on a daily basis if possible. Okay, next slide, Ms. Tillman. I just threw this in to give you guys a good smile or a good laugh. It just says the big secret in life is that there is no big secret. Whatever your goal is, you can get there if you're willing to work hard. That's from Oprah Winfrey. And if anybody knows Oprah, she has all the money in the world. And I know many of you, and even myself and Miss Tillman, I'm quite sure, aspire to be that billionaire or multi-billionaire that Oprah is. But Oprah didn't get there by being lazy and not doing what she needed to do. If you research Oprah, she'll tell you about the internships that she went through before going to college to get her degree in communications, and how diligent she had to be in order to be successful. So if you aspire to be anything like Oprah or live in the digital realm of the zeros with with Miss Oprah, then you want to know that there is no big secret. It all just takes passion and setting goals and moving forward and adhering to those goals, and it takes more often than not discipline. So that's what I want to leave you with from Miss Oprah, courtesy of Oprah Winfrey. Next slide, Miss Tillman. So we talked about networking. So many of you may say, what is networking? Networking is an opportunity for you, and you do it every day. When you're in the store, you bump into people, you say, I'm sorry, didn't mean to bump into you. And sometimes people carry on the conversation. People you don't know just start talking to you. That's networking. And that's what you should always be doing. So you should always put your best foot forward when you're out in public, because you never know who has your next opportunity. And, you may go to one of these internships and do the interviews for the internship and find that somebody that you saw in the grocery store or while you was trying to buy those Snickers or whatever, they are on the panel that's judging to make sure to decide whether or not you are a good candidate or a good fit for their internship. So make sure that you always have on a good smile and you're always presenting your best face. So where do you network? You can network at career events. I'm quite sure many high schools have what they call career day, and some companies come in with positions. So those are considered career events. And those are the days when you don't need to wear your jeans to school. You'll need to dress appropriately and look very presentable because, again, you're marketing yourself and you're networking with the employers. And you never get a second chance to make a first impression. I know that it's cliches, but it is so true. Employer information sessions. If you're looking at companies, because you've already done your research, we spoke about that earlier, you've set your goals and you have your top 3 to 5 companies that I want to get an internship with them because this is what I really want to do. Say the Georgia Aquarium. I love animals. I want to work with the whales or whatever the case may be. If you go on their website, they often tell you when they have what they call information sessions. And this is the opportunity for you to go and sit down and listen to what the Georgia Aquarium offers. They speak about the internships, and they tell you exactly what they're looking for in the candidates that they will select to be a part of their intern team. And that's when you're going to write those notes like you're doing right now. Take those notes back home, and you're going to go and, again, get your documents and make sure they said they needed X, Y, and Z. I want to make sure I have that. I want to make sure my paper's not wrinkled. I want to make sure that I get it in by the deadline. So that's what the information session does. It also allows you the opportunity to speak to that person that's in the position to hire you as an intern or permanently down the road and build a relationship with them. It's an opportunity for you to say, hey, is it okay after the session you have your one-on-one conversation and say, hey, is it okay if I email you every once in a while and I have this resume and if I don't make it this term with summer or spring, can I reach back out to you and see what I could have done better so that I'll be better able to make it next time? And so those are the things that you would do. And that's what the information session does. I really love information sessions because companies that's hard to get an opportunity with. When you go to these information sessions, you get a chance to connect with the person that makes the decisions. And if you leave a lasting impression, they 9 times out of 10 will give you an opportunity. Well, alumni events are more or less for college students, but you could be an alumni of your high school as well. And there are people that are alumni from your high school. Go to your guidance counselor. Ask her which one of the alumni from the that graduated from your high school still come back and volunteer. Many of them have positions higher up in companies, and they like to give back to their schools. And so build a connection with that person. Ask for their contact information or ask your guidance counselor, if they will connect you with them in one way or another. And, just make those. It's about building relationships. And connect with contacts in your circle. So your family, if you have a family member that works at a company that you really want to work for, or at least you want to do an internship with just to see what it's like, if your family member works there, see what they can do to connect you with the person that's over the internship program. And have them put in a good word for you. Give them that resume that's wow, and ask them, will you ask them about me? I looked online and they have these positions, and can you speak a good word for me? Tell your pastor who may have connections. Tell your past supervisors or your current supervisors since you're in high school. Some of you may work at Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Foot Locker, whatever. You never know who in that organization knows somebody that works in another organization. So be open to telling people that, hey, I'm looking for the internship. I want to start early. I know I'm a junior in high school. I'm a senior in high school, but I want to start early. I don't want to wait until I get to college and then try to find me an internship, because by that time, you are really competing with a lot of people, and some of which have more college experience than you at this point. So you want to start early and get your name out there, get your resume out there, get your face out there, and get connected. Next one, Ms. Tillman. I've discussed this part already, just talking to your counselors, advisors, going to the informational interviews, reaching out to contacts. You would be surprised how many companies like people to still call them. Most of us believe that we have to go online to do everything. And don't get me wrong, there are many companies that will just steer you right back to their online application. And if you run into those companies, what I would do is suggest is that you go ahead and apply and then call them back and say, hey, I have applied online and I just wanted to see if I can get a one-on-one information session with the person over the internship program. If any of you are into the hospital and want to do nursing, patient care, or anything like that, Kaiser Permanente and Northside have very good internship programs during the summer months for high school and college students. And so that is what you want to do. Apply to the internship and connect with the person that will be over that. Call them, reach out to them, even find out their name and the address. When you call and speak with the operator, ask who's over it. Can you get their name? And possibly send them a little thank you card, or, hey, just a card to say, hi, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm interested in the internship program. Make sure you know which internship program, because many companies have several listed. So make sure you know the title of the internship when you're writing a card or if you're going to send an email. And even if you're going to call, know what you're talking about. That's the part of the planning that we spoke about earlier. So know what position, and most of them have what they call a requisition number. Write that number down and say, hey, I'm calling in reference to your nursing position, in your nursing internship. I'm interested in being a nurse and would love to come to the internship program, or a teacher. I want to come through to your summer school program and intern with the Board of Education, and I'm looking at job number and give them that number. Just sound very professional when you call. And ask questions of community resources that assist with internships. And if you go to your libraries, a lot of them have information out for internships right before the summer kicks off really good. That the library is a very valuable resource. Again, the Department of Labor could be a very good resource. You have workforce development for whatever county or city you live in, whether it be Albany, Augusta, Atlanta, wherever. Everybody has what they call a workforce development center, and find out where that is. And they usually have job leads about internships for the summertime. Okay, next slide, Ms. Tillman. And this one is just about establishing your professional image. We talked about polishing up that resume. If you don't have a very good resume, or you don't know if it's a good resume, show it to your guidance counselor. Show it to your parents, because they found jobs and they know what a lot of jobs are looking for. I will keep saying you can go to the Department of Labor even as a high school student. They have people inside that will critique your resume and give you pointers on what you need to do. I will not be able to say this next point too much to you. As teenagers, a lot of you guys love certain types of music. When you're looking for your internship, look at it as if you're looking for a job, as if you were 18, 21, out on your own looking for your job. Make sure you have a professional voicemail message. Do not have the music playing, too much talking. When you're in this mode of seeking an internship, keep everything professional. You have reached the voicemail of Crystal Davis. Unfortunately, I'm not able to accept your call at this time. Please leave your name, number, and a detailed message. I will return your call as soon as time permits. Beep. Or use the automated system that says you have reached 404-222-9999 and then beep. But don't put too much music on or any of that. When you have an email, many of you may not think about this, but add a signature to your outgoing email, and you can do that by clicking on options when you're in your email, and it'll allow you to put a signature where you can write your name or type your name rather, and then you can use the cursive writing and say thanks and put your signature at the bottom on the email. That's always professional, and it gives you, again, we're looking for those things that are going to give you a head up, a little bit more, make you a little bit more extraordinary, because most high school students and college students aren't thinking about that. I don't know if any of you know about LinkedIn and what that is. If not, jot your notes, and at the end when we're taking questions, and you can tell me, I'll tell you more about LinkedIn. But it's basically a Facebook, but it's a professional page where you won't post the family barbecue pictures there, and all of that is strictly professional. You'll you'll put a picture out that shows you with your suit on or your dress on and your nice hair, nails, and makeup. You'll put a nice picture out, and it is where a lot of companies, Coca-Cola, Rubbermaid, Americo Logistics, Northside Hospital, all of them have their HR representatives out there, and a lot of them post their internships there before they post them on their website. So be mindful of that. And if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, get with Ms. Tillman and the other young ladies that's over the program, and I'm quite sure they can help you get started on that, because that is going to be your gateway to opportunities for internship, and even in college, it's going to be a valuable tool for you nowadays. And make sure that your online presence is appropriate. So many of you may not have a LinkedIn, but you may have a Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and Snapchat or whatever that is. I don't have those things, but you guys may have that because that's the state of the world, and you guys are young, and this is what you do, and there's nothing wrong with it. But make sure that the pictures that you post out there and the comments that you're putting, there's no profane language in it, and that your pictures are nice, and you don't show any pictures doing anything derogatory. You're not posting anything derogatory about other people and things of that nature. So if you have that out there, or people are posting that on your wall, or however that goes, make sure that you clean that up before you start looking for your internships, because that could cause you a very good internship. So make sure those social media outlets are professional, just as your email address should be, just as your voicemail should be, your social media image, because they can see your face on that, should be professional, and always put your best foot forward on those things. Next slide, Ms. Tillman. When applying, I can't say this enough, read the application carefully and provide all required information. You guys will probably be surprised how many people, and not just young adults, but older adults, come in and I give them paperwork to complete for employers, and it says last name first and first name last, and they put the first name first and the last name, and I said that's not what that asks you to do. So before you start writing, when you get your applications for those internships, because again, you're going to go online, some of them you have to print out and complete paperwork and fax it in or mail it in. Make sure your writing is legible, and make sure that you only put the information that's asked on the application. Do not leave any field blank. If you don't have an answer for it, just put N/A, which means not applicable to you, not applicable, if that's what some people say, applicable, so not applicable to you. And that's what that means. And so don't leave it blank, but make sure you fill out each and every area. If you have trouble or you don't know what they're asking, get an adult, your mother, your teacher, your counselor, and the staff here at 21st Century Leaders, and ask them to help you. Read the job description thoroughly. Again, you're looking for an internship, but it's they give you the same information as if it was a job, because some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid. But again, you're looking for valuable experience. If you can get a paid one, go for it. But if not, don't just take it paid or take the position because it's paid. Make sure it's something that you really desire to do. But whatever you do, read the job description and make sure you are a good fit for that, and making sure that the company is a good fit for you. I told you earlier, apply as early as possible. You know the cliche or the old saying, the early bird gets the worm concept. Keep that in mind. If I get mine in first, I stand a better chance than if I wait to a Friday and the deadline is Friday at 11:59 and I send mine at 11:55. They may not even get to mine because, hey, 200 people have applied and they stopped at the first 50. So you want to make sure that you get yours up, you get yours submitted early. Follow up with a telephone call or an email, and be very professional in that. If you're not accustomed to sending professional emails to companies and employers, get with those that are in leadership position or your counselor and ask them to help you draft the email, to follow up with them and make sure that you're using the right words and that your tone is correct. And again, persistence pays off, but note that I have polite persistent pays off. Don't call and keep asking and they say we don't know where you are in the process. We'll call you as soon as we find some more information, and then you start to get a little irritated and your tone changes. Make sure whatever your contact is with them via email or telephone or in person, make sure that it's always polite and professional and that you're always putting your best foot forward. So always smile when you on the telephone. A smile goes a very long way. In your email, always say thank you and please, and use your manners. Next slide, Ms. Tillman. And so, again, like I told you before, I was going to offer you some resources and websites. And you could take the time now to write some of these down. If you don't, aren't able to write them down, I'm quite sure Ms. Tillman will get them to you some way, form, or fashion. I wanted to make mention of the idealist.com, and you see I have in parentheses, it is for nonprofit opportunities. So that is for those of you that want to work for the American Red Cross or AIDS Walk Atlanta or any type of nonprofit organization. St. Jude, sometimes those type of organizations, those are opportunities for them. So if that's your passion to get back into the community and do work, mission work and things like that and work for a nonprofit, then that would be the website for you. Intern, this global experiences, it says in parentheses that the intern pays for the experience is simply because a lot of these, as it states, global being the operative word here, this is for people that want to travel to China and Spain and all of those places for opportunities, or if you're trying to learn Spanish and you may find an opportunity abroad. So those would be where you have to go, and it says you pay for the experience because you will more than likely have to pay to travel abroad to participate in a lot of those. But studentmentor.org is a very good one, and internships.com. Intern matches you to different internships based on your skills and abilities, and you put in a little bit of information, and they give you opportunities that may match what you have, your skills. Next slide, Ms. Tillman. And so the end is, hello, my name is Intern. And so whatever your name is, you, as the intern, you would say, hello, my name is Crystal Davis, and I'm your new intern. What I would like to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is that one of my old schoolmates just started an internship, and she's doing an internship with the Arthur Blank Foundation and the Falcons. And it was all about that polite persistence, completing the internship application in a timely manner. And she's only been there about 3 weeks, but they are already talking about offering her a position because it's all about the way she carried herself, all about being available and receptive and understanding that when you're in these positions and these internship opportunities, they will come and give you constructive criticism. Don't be so quick to get upset. And so she's received some of that. And so thank you, Noelle. And so, yeah, so just be open to those opportunities. If football is something that you love and you want to work on the sidelines, guys or even young ladies, or you want to work for the Falcons organization or whatever organization, make sure you research them. And I tell you, the Arthur Blank Foundation has many, 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 many opportunities for high school students and college students. And so, but you have to be available and pay attention to how Arthur Blank dresses and those on the sideline, and that's the way you want to present yourself. And again, I gave Miss Tillman. Miss Tillman has this PowerPoint presentation. She has those websites. And my information is, if you want to write it down, Crystal Davis, and my email address is, and forgive me, I should have put it on my PowerPoint. But my email address is CRYSTAL .DAVIS at G as in George, D as in David, O as in Oliver, L as in Larry, dot G as in George, A as in Adam, dot D as in George, O as in Oliver, V as in Victor. And that is crystal.davis at gdol.ga.gov. And you feel free to just put in your subject line, 21st century student. And so, Miss Tillman put it out there for you. And so that's my email address. Feel free to ask me any questions. If you're completing an application, if you're interested in something, let me know. A lot of time, I know I have companies such as the federal government, the Department of Corrections, and ICE. ICE, they are the immigration people. They always coming to me saying, Crystal, I have these internships. I have Fish and Wildlife always offering internships. So just reach out to me, and if I find anything, I by all means will pass along the information, or at least give it to Miss Tillman and the group, and they can disseminate it to you guys accordingly, and you guys apply. But if you have any questions, that's my email address. Feel free to send me an email, and I will respond as quickly as possible. I thank you for your time, and if you have any questions for me, I'm here.
All right, thank you, Miss Davis. I think that was very informative. And I do want to add, so this presentation is being recorded. So if if you remembered anything or you missed anything, from the presentation, it will be posted on our YouTube channel by the weekend. So you can go back, view it again, and then maybe, if you had some extra notes you missed, you can go ahead and take those down. So it is being recorded. So at the time, we'll go ahead and take questions. Looks like people are still maybe thinking about their questions, so I'll just go ahead and throw one out there while everyone is thinking. So I think a good question, or this is a question that I was thinking in my head, is how do you approach a company that you might be passionate about or interested in that doesn't have any internships?
That's a very good question, Ms. Tillman. So again, as we spoke before, you're gonna know what what you're looking for again, because you've written down your goals and you know what you want to do, and you know that company is where you want to go to when you graduate high school or when you graduate college. Again, it's the same process. Just research that company, send them a card or a resume. Ask for an information session. I've had to do this before myself, and I actually had my son to do the same thing. The company didn't have an internship. However, he asked for an information session. He received a one-on-one information session with the hiring manager, and told them what he desired to do, or what his short-term goals were and what his long-term goals were, and that they were a company that he was very interested in. And he did receive an internship. They didn't have one. They created one for the summer months and allowed him to come in during the summer,
Oh, nice.
hours a day, 3 days a week, and get that experience. And he still has a rapport with them to this day because he just stepped out and went out there and asked. He called, he sent a letter, and he asked, can I come in and talk to somebody? I know you guys don't really do internships, or I don't ever see internships on your website, but I'm very interested. And that's exactly what he did. He just had to reach out. Don't be afraid to call the companies. Don't be afraid to send a letter to the companies. And again, use your resources. Have your school counselors tell them that this is the company that I really want to go in and learn something from, but I don't ever see an internship with them. Allow your counselor. That's what they're there for. Call them, ask them, or go to the office and say, can you find out how I can get an internship? And if they don't have an internship at this particular employer, ask them, what can I do to come in during the summer to learn and do some hands-on training under an apprenticeship program. And that's what your counselors are there for. But again, you have to have a good rapport. It's going to require that you have good recommendations and you have good behavior at school. Those things, or counselors won't call on your behalf if you're not one of those students that they feel will represent the school and them, because they are putting their name out there. So if they don't feel that you're going to represent them or the school in a positive manner, then they may not be apt to do those things.
I think that's excellent advice. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and type it in the chat box to your left. Now, Crystal, is this prime time kind of internship season, or when is like prime time for students to start applying to internships?
Right now would be the good time to start looking out on the website. January through March is normally when they post their positions. Major companies post their positions January through March. I know that the federal government opportunities are going to be out between February and March. Coca-Cola has theirs out throughout the year because a lot of the ones that high school students may be looking into, a lot of college students are also looking into. So I would say January they should start looking out on whatever website or company that they're looking to work for or want to do an internship with. You should start looking into that in January. That's when everything starts anew, because most of them will want you to have your paperwork in, your application, your resume, your recommendations, and all in no later than the end of April, middle of May for summertime.
Excellent. It looks like we have a question from Bernabe Becerra, and she says, when should a student create a LinkedIn?
Today. Yeah, today. And I say that simply because they need to get acclimated to using the system. LinkedIn, again, is a very valuable tool, and I don't want them to go with the mindset that it is a Facebook, because it although designed similar, it's a totally different tool, and as you very well know. And so they need to time to go through it, and maybe even if they create those pages, they can have you guys go through and look at them and make sure that the image that they have out there is correct, and that they are they have enough information, because they give you the percentage, you 80% complete or 5% complete, and so make sure that that'll be a good session to have in house with the students, or if they can go to a resource in their communities and get somebody to help them create those LinkedIn pages, because believe it or not, a lot of companies are doing more hiring from LinkedIn than they're doing from their own website and from word of mouth. A lot of companies. I mean, I'm on there literally almost 2-3 times a day, and I see companies posting all the time. And if you're looking for, say for instance, your prior question, if this company doesn't offer an internship, but they have a position online that you know you're interested in, and you want to say, maybe I can do that during the summer just to learn a little bit more about the industry or the position. A lot of them put their email address out there. So then you can email them and say, hey, I know that you have this as a full-time position, and I don't have much experience in it, but it is something that I desire to do, and I plan to attend college in the fall for something pertaining or in that field, related field. And then just say, is it possible you think I can come and have a one-on-one conversation with you and ask you what I can do to possibly come in once or twice a week during the summer months to get some hands-on experience? Companies really like that. And guess what? You are doing something extraordinary. You stepped outside of the box and you did something that most students, high school especially, would not do. So not even some college students, to be frank. So you did something different, and that shows that you take initiative and you have a desire to grow. And so they look at that as a positive.
Right. So everyone, that means tonight or tomorrow or the weekend or over the break, whenever, sometime soon, you should go ahead and create a LinkedIn. And if you need help, please let me know, because LinkedIn, like she said, is very, very helpful. Um, so
It
yeah,
is.
that's something that you probably need to do, especially those seniors out there. You definitely probably should do that tonight. So I hope everybody does that very soon. Um,
Yeah.
any more questions? You can go ahead and type them in the box. I want to go ahead and catch her while she's here. I guess, Chris, do you have any last, words of wisdom for these 21st
Yeah.
century leaders?
What I would offer as words of wisdom is know yourself, know what it is that you really want to do. And this is a good time. It's a Christmas holiday. Everything is kind of winding down for 2015. This is a time to really do a good reflection of yourself. High school student or whatever, it's a good time. We all should reflect and think about, what is it that I really, really desire to do. Maybe when you were in elementary school, you wanted to be a firefighter. Then you got to middle school and you decided you wanted to be a police officer. Then you went to high school and decided, I don't want to do any of those, and I don't like these children, and I don't like people. So you change your mind. And we do that because as we grow, we become passionate about different things as we grow. And so what I would say to you guys is continue to grow, but also know that you have to set roots somewhere. And so you need to start right now while you have a chance, while you're still under somebody else's roof and you can decide and take your time. You should take this time right now to decide, this is what I want to do. These are the internships that I want to look into, or the opportunities that I want to look into. And brainstorm and write those things down over the Christmas break. And when January comes around, January 2016, decide to be disciplined, decide to reach your goals, and decide to not be deterred. And then you'll see yourself go far, and all the opportunities that you want, they'll come your way because you decided that was what you wanted to do. Because once we wake up our mind, the universe just kind of like aligns with what we think. So once you make up your mind that this is what I want to do, this is what I plan to do, whether it be owning your own business, you may want to go to a company and just talk to the business person, the CFO, the COO, and ask them how they started the business and different things like that. Go to the small businesses during the summer and work with them, and go back there and let them show you their books and different things like that. And say, hey, I want to own my own business, and I need to talk to some people that I've noticed that have done this and become successful at it. And it's just all about connecting. So talk to people, then talk to more people, then talk to some more people. But let people know that you're a senior, you're a junior, and you're looking to get out there in the world, and ask them, what do you know of any opportunities in this said field? But know who you are so that nobody can tell you who you ought to be, okay? All right.
All right, I think that was a good conclusion or a good closing. So we want to thank you, Krista, for conducting
You're
this
welcome.
webinar. So I do hope, that some students will reach out to you very soon. So with that being said, this will be posted this weekend on our YouTube channel. So if you have any other questions, feel free to contact Crystal at her email, or you can contact me at 21st Century Leaders. And I hope everyone has a good night.
You as well, and happy holidays to each of you.
Thank you, you too, Crystal.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.